All right, guys, and welcome back. Look, I know it's been forever since I have posted any kind of video. If you remember, I mentioned on the very last video that I posted that it was going to be a while before I came back because I wanted to take some time to pursue some pet projects. Plus, I'm working full-time, guys. This isn't my main gig. I have a life outside of YouTube, and part of that life is doing marketing for good-sized medium company out here that does a lot of work for the military as well as large industrial firms. I do marketing for them. So Monday through Friday, guys, I'm swamped. And as you may recall, I mentioned in that last video that pet project that I mentioned is an experimental science fiction movie that I've been wanting to make. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of on the set of it right now, so to speak. But a lot of you have been writing in on the videos that I have posted over the past several months, and I thought right now was a really good time to respond to as many of those as I could without boring all of you to death. I have the comments up right here. So if I haven't written back to you on the postings themselves, hopefully the response will be for you in here. All right, so I'm just going to kind of go down the line. For those of you who wrote in, I want to thank you so much, regardless of what your stance is. Thank you for taking the time to write in. Hopefully we can have more of a conversation, more of an understanding of the approach that I've been taking in regards to paranormal and what my personal beliefs are. I don't believe in the Hollywood version of paranormal or of ghosts per se, and I think a lot of what people say is true, we don't have a way to prove what is true or what's not. There's a lot of pseudoscience out there, not a lot of real exploration going on. Now, some of you may know that I'm a member of the Parapsychological Association, which is an organization made up of doctors and scientists that they are trying to understand a variety of things in the paranormal field and parapsychological field, including life after death. Quick overview, my belief is that our consciousness is energy. And energy, if we are to follow thermodynamics, energy isn't created, it's not destroyed. When it's released from its container, it simply goes on into entropy, which is the third law of thermodynamics. And I welcome any of you to look up the rules of thermodynamics and also do a quick Google search on consciousness as energy. Try to look up university papers on that particular subject, or papers that are written by PhDs. All right. So I want to get into some of these comments real quick. The first one actually came in today, and this is from Fabio Manganiello. Fabio, I hope I got your last name correct. And this is in regards to Fort Necessity, that is in Western Pennsylvania. If you recall, I went out and did some poking around out there. And Fabio writes, I have a scientific background, and I'm very skeptical of paranormal in general, which I completely understand. But I am not sure if you realized what's the piercing, repetitive sound in the background that starts at 12:16. But you are still living just in a different way. That's the sound of a bugle in C. It was a very commonly used signaling trumpet on battlefields in the 18th and early 19th centuries. Unlike modern trumpets, it has no valves, meaning the keys that you press down. So the only way to control the pitch was through the player's their own tone, their own manipulation of their mouth and the air coming through. And thus, it was limited to the natural harmonic series. Of course, most of the soldiers who were given a bugle on the battlefield weren't exactly skilled concerto players who bothered basically practicing while bayonet was heading for their throat. So in the frantic moments of the battle, they would just repeatedly blow the same note, C, inside of the trumpet, resulting in the same frantic rhythmic pattern repeated over and over, while early instruments were tuned around slightly lower versions of the A. At the end of the 18th century, the standard A would generally sit in a 420-430 hertz range. And, indeed, the sound I'm hearing in this video isn't exactly a C5 note, like I would expect from a modern bugle in C, but somewhat closer to a B4, which would fit perfect in the tuning the British and French would use around the time of this battle. And it was the British and the French who were fighting at that fort. In other words, what you've captured there is basically a live recording of the battle, which literally ticks all the boxes of what I would label as scientific evidence. The probability that that sound was artificially added later to the video implies that you or somebody from your team, I have no team, from your team had managed to put your hands on an original bugle from that period. There are only a few of them left around, mostly stored in museums, and knew how to blow into it. Had you put so much effort, probably put at least a caption like bugle trumpet sound to draw the listener's attention to it. But you seem to have barely noticed that sound and focused on the dog's bark sound instead, which, in all fairness, the sound in which Fabio is referring to, I thought was part of the ultrasonic frequency. I didn't place it at all with any kind of bugle sound. For the first time, I've bumped into a case where the probability of this being genuinely paranormal is higher than the probability of this being made up. That has sent shivers down the spine of an ironclad, boring science guy like me. Fabio, thank you for that, and thank you for pointing that out. Again, I didn't, I thought the sound that you're referring to was from the ultrasonic device because there are so many frequencies that are going through. That's what I thought it was. That's what I assumed that it was. And so it was the dog bark that I did hear, and I know exactly which part you're talking about. I'll try to play it here for all of you. Still living just in a different way. Good ear on that, Fabio, and thank you so much for writing in with that comment. I really do appreciate it. That is that is fantastic. Thank you for that. The next comment comes from the Spirit Tapes. This came from a day ago, and this is when I started really using the ultrasonic device. This is from actual spirit communication, no apps, using real science is the video. And the Spirit Tapes says, Philip, please can you help me? I need advice on getting one of these ultrasonic devices. I am trying every possible method to reach my mom and my dog. I ask kindly, please help me. The Spirit Tapes, thank you so much for writing in with this. The ultrasonic device was a device that I built based on a theory that I had that speech is nothing more than tone and frequency that moves along air, and that if that's the case, then we might be able to capture that in the ultrasonic frequencies. And I think I was onto a good momentum with that. The process just takes some time, but I built this myself, and it was built basically out of deconstructing a bat detector, because bat detectors use ultrasonic frequencies so that you can hear bats. All I did in the initial device was I deconstructed a bat detector, and I just aimed a microphone at the speaker for that device. Later on, I would remove the speaker and I'd add in a mini plug so I could plug-in headsets or additional speakers or even recording devices if I so chose to. But all it is just a bat detector. I mean, that is the guts of this. So it's not something that the ultrasonic device is not something you can readily go out and buy per se, the way that I have it. But I did use just the bat detector. And if and guys, if you want me to show you how I built it, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. It doesn't cost a whole lot to do. I think it might have cost me $100 American to make the whole thing. So, but yeah, that's all that this is. It was just a bat detector. Now, the thing about this specific device is not so much the recording, but it's the analyzing afterwards, because what I found is that the audio seems, or the voices seem to be around the 1,000 to 2,000 hertz frequency. So you have to listen through the audio, and wherever there's a glitch, wherever you hear a glitch, you have to amplify that. So it's a mixture of amplifying the audio, using noise cancellation as well. And I actually have a video on that, and I'll try to plug it here at the end, so that you can see exactly how I do it. And you don't need any fancy software for that. As a matter of fact, there's a free software called Audacity. You can do it with Audacity. I've done it with that, and I've also done it with Adobe Audition. So, but any software that has boosting capabilities and noise reduction capabilities, you should be able to use. So, so the Spirit tapes, I hope that answers your question to a certain degree. I'm sorry I couldn't give you more on it, but yeah, I'm happy to show you how to build this device. It's not that hard. Okay. So the next one is from when I was testing out the Necrometer. This is the Necrometer speech and text mode. This is from Jabo35. It says, even on text, the responses are extremely slow. I haven't had any good responses with that. It's just, excuse me, guys. Buddy, he wanted his toy. So anyways, yeah, the Necrometer. Yeah, it's $10, and I don't know, guys. I don't, if you want to try it, try it. I might give it a shot again. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't wowed by it. I'll just say that. So the next one is, and frankly, a lot of the comments are about this particular video. It is Huff Paranormal has crossed the line, taking a stand. This is after the implosion of the submarine, and he found a bottle he's playing with, and Huff had come out with a video. Not even 24 hours later, it was about 12 hours later, he came out with a video, and I was angered by that. I didn't think enough time had gone by. The family, I felt, still needed to mourn, and I just thought, on a moral issue level, I thought it was wrong, and so I voiced my opinion about it. And this is from, sorry guys, oh so sad. As much as I hate all paranormal channels, you are not wrong here. That dude is just awful. And I normally don't try to go out of my way to be so public. Guys, excuse me. He's chewing the lid on the bottle. I don't want him to choke. Yeah, I don't try to go out of my way to call channels out. I mean, Lord knows there's enough paranormal channels out there that I could if I so chose to. But that's not the mission of this channel. It's not what I'm wanting to do necessarily. It's not what I'm trying to do. But I thought this video had gone too far. And unfortunately, there are more paranormal channels out there that are for entertainment purposes than there are trying to do the real thing. And a lot of these that are for entertainment purposes, they're saying that they are real, and that's where I have an issue. If you're for entertainment, say you're for entertainment. That's my only request. See, the next one is from, okay, so Alma, I apologize. I cannot pronounce the second half to your name. Alma Jirsajirn, 9310. And this is for the ultrasonic spirit results versus reverse speech. This is when there was a lot that was going on in regards to reverse speech and how it was authentic, but there was no testing that was done. There was no control. There was no test. It was just, here's a video using reverse speech, and it's scientifically proven. I have a problem with that because it's not scientifically proven. Okay, and the response that Alma wrote is, "That's awesome. Do a podcast with Grant of Optimal Frequency. I am curious about his work. Recording many EVPs using water flow as white noise." And you know what, Alma, that's fantastic, because running water does create white noise. You can use running water, you can use fans, you can use anything that's going to cause some sort of a steady tone that's going to come through. So Alma, thank you for writing in. And yeah, water is fantastic. You can definitely do it with that. So the next one is from the Crossing the Line video again. This is from Kelly David, 8328. And Kelly, thank you so much for writing in. I do appreciate it. And Kelly wrote, "I didn't even know this happened and didn't understand what was being said by this video, so I looked it up. And such heartbreaking what happened to these people. I'm not going to say anyone is wrong or right. I'm on neutral grounds and can see from both sides." And Kelly, I respect that stance. I really, really do. And this particular video was my stance on it. And I think I even said in this video, I'm not saying don't do a video. I'm just saying wait a little bit. That's all. It had literally just been announced that the implosion of the submarine had happened, and to me, and I've said this in the video, and I'll say it again. To me, only from my perspective, it was a chance for views. It was a chance to grasp onto something that was newsworthy. So that's how I look at that still to this day. So Kelly, thank you so much for writing in. I appreciate that. So the next one is from the Spirit Tapes again. This is King Henry VIII speaks to me through the Spirit Box. And that King Henry video, that session was fantastic. And the Spirit Tapes says, "Which Spirit Box is that you were using?" So, I actually have to play that video again. I think the app that I used was, man, I was still in Vegas. The reason I want to contact him is our history. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Our history shows that so this was the Angel phone that I built. This was, excuse me, this was the very first box that I built. And to give credit where credit is due, I was watching Huff at the time, and I liked the idea that he had built a device that could amplify scanning radios, but I wasn't going to pay the $2,000 that he wanted for his, so I wanted to build my own, and under my own specifications. So I built this. So yes, I am saying that in the early days, Huff was an inspiration. But the app that I am using is the Afterlight box. The Afterlight box is from Extreme Senses. And you can look it up at extremesenses.com. They are Windows-based apps. They are not phone apps, okay? So they are Windows-based apps. And Windows only. There's nothing for the Mac, all right, guys? But that's what I was using for that. And I recently found that I still have that app. I didn't know that I still had it. So if you want me to go back and do a session with that app again, it might be kind of fun. Let me know down in the comments section below, okay? Okay, so back to the necrometer speech and text, the test that I did on the necrometer. This is from Justin W, 7323. Justin says, I bought this app because someone died in my room before we moved here back in 1997. Justin, I would love to hear what your experiences was like with it. I'm on the fence with the app, but let me know what your experience was like. All right, I'd love to hear about it. So this is, again, the Huff video. This is from Vanessa. Vanessa, excuse me if I butcher your last name. Vanessa Cangialosi, 404. This was 6 days ago, so Vanessa, I apologize for just getting back to you now. Vanessa says, oh wow, I just discovered Huff literally yesterday and was so excited and fascinated by some of his videos. I haven't seen the Ocean Gate one, but I'm glad I saw this. I have to remind myself not to get too carried away believing just whatever I see. My parents, grandparents all died when I was still a kid, so the urge to connect is a deep need, almost wound for me. My entire family is on the other side and it's painful. This is just a reminder for me to use better discernment, no matter how badly I want to believe or experience something. Thank you. This was very important for me to see. Vanessa, Vanessa, Vanessa. I cannot tell you how important that message is that you just wrote. There are good people out there. Please know that there are good people out there who are sincerely trying to learn about the existence of life after death. You have a key phrase in here, and that is, this is just a reminder for me to use better discernment, and I think that's something that we all need to do. I believed in people for quite a while, and as time went on, certain things stood out to me that didn't quite feel right, and I had to search myself. I had to ask myself some of those questions, and I moved away from those people. So, Vanessa, if you're going to look into anything, if I could suggest looking up articles on consciousness as energy, try that out and go off in that direction, just as an idea. I'm not saying that you have to, it's just a suggestion, okay? But Vanessa, thank you so much for writing in, and this is why I made that particular video, so that somebody could step back and go, whoa, wait a minute, okay. Because it is easy to get caught up in these situations, but you do have to take a step back and say, okay, does this logically make sense to me? If it does, then explore it more. If it doesn't, find out why it doesn't. Find out why it doesn't, and then move on from there. So, Vanessa, thank you so much. So this is from JB Aaron, 4596. This is from Saving Ghost Paranormal Podcast, Episode 1. This is when Hope Paranormal was on. And JB says, come on, you guys. The ghost hunting paranormal is entertainment. You guys want to intellectualize the field. However, when you do that, you start to sound like paranormal snobs. I see where you're coming from with this, but there is the potential for actual science in this. I think, anyways. Again, my opinion only. Because if we are energy and carbon, if that's all that we are, if carbon dies but energy doesn't, then what happens to that energy? And if consciousness is energy, again, look up those articles, then then there's a possibility with this. No, I don't believe necessarily in all of the slamming doors and the mystery shadows that are going by and like on the guy from the UK, Really Haunted. I think a lot of his stuff is, I know a lot of his stuff is fake. So I don't necessarily believe in that side of it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I have seen a shadow once. I have experienced odors, and I'm sure some of you have as well. But I have never seen doors slam. I have never seen, drawers open and close. And I explain in past videos why that is. And it has to do, again, with thermodynamics and how energy is stored and then released, stored and released. So yeah, I mean, I can see how we could probably sound like snobs. But the reason for that, and please understand, is that there are a handful of people out there who are truly trying to understand. And when there are people who are doing entertainment but claiming that it's real, that's where the issue comes in. For me, from a moral and ethical standpoint. Okay? So JB, thank you for writing in. This is, again, the Huff video. Me taking a stand. This is from Maximus Prime 1230. Love the screen name. And Maximus says, well, I am a new subscriber because of this video. His savior complex aspect is also gross. This is something that has been coming to me from a variety of people who have been catching on. So, Maximus, thank you so much for writing in. So, this is from, again, Necrometer speech in text mode. This is from RDS Part-Time Drone Flights. Which app that you have tested would you recommend? There's a few, actually, that I would recommend. The Afterlight box is a good one. The HSB1, I've had some pretty good results with. Honestly, I would use a scanning radio. And if you want to start getting a little fancier with it, plug it into a guitar amplifier and noise reduction and a reverb. And you can, the noise reduction and the reverb pedals, you can get those for like $30 off of Amazon. You can get a small portable amplifier for about $25 off Amazon. But the PSB7 scanning radio is still by far, I think, the best out there. But as far as apps go, yeah, I would look into Extreme Senses. I'd look into their apps because I've had pretty good results with their apps. And the HSB one is another one. So those are the ones I would check out. So this is from Ogre Girl 23. This is, again, for Huff has crossed the line. And Ogre Girl says, I understand your outrage at such an immediate response, but you had the motive incorrect. His videos are not getting the views because he slowed down his posting. Gee, I wonder why. Not really. See, the thing is, heaven doesn't just blow open its doors that you can come on through whenever you pass. That is dangerous, and most people want to hang out a bit, go to their services, check on loved ones, hide from judgment. The best time to talk to people is that first week. Reconsider the beliefs you hold true. I also have psych degrees. That doesn't change the fact that the dead hang out a very short amount of time, then have to move on and deal with their life experience becoming unreachable for a time. The last I heard psych is a soft science and based mostly on observation, which is what Huff is doing. No disrespect meant. Okay, so I see, Ogre Girl, I see where you're coming from with this. And yes, psychology is a soft science. But it's done with test subjects and with control subjects. Huff isn't doing that. He's not doing a control session and then a test session. He's not even really doing his sessions live and showing how everything is done. So that's one aspect of this. The other aspect of this comment is, and I say this with respect, we truly do not know what happens once we have left our body. We don't know if we hang around for a week. We don't know if we have 3 days, which is what Huff says. I think 3 days is because that's how long someone is popular in news and in Google search. I would like to believe that we have a choice. That if consciousness is energy, that we have a choice to stay here or move on into entropy. I could be wrong. I don't know. And the thing is, none of us are going to know until our time has come. And even those who maybe have had a brief taste of that and have come back, that is still an experience to just that one person. I think everything is an experience that's different for every single person. So I can't take anyone's word for this is how things are, because nobody knows. And even if someone says, well, I had a near-death experience, this is what it was like, this is how it is, well, that was your experience. I can't say with certainty that 100% of the experiences that happen after we have passed are all going to be the same based on one person's experience, or even based off of 5 people's experience. I think everyone is going to have a different version. And I think a lot of that might have to do with how we are feeling at the time of our passing. It might have to be with what our mindset is like at the time of our passing. I don't know. These are all just assumptions that I am making. So, Ogre Girl, I truly respect where you are coming from with this, and if someone is going to disagree with me, this is a way to do it. State that there's a disagreement, but explain why there's a disagreement. And you can't argue someone's beliefs, because a person's beliefs are their beliefs. And so, Ogre Girl, I respect you for writing in. Thank you so much for this. Karmate Gaming 6988, Necrometer speech and text mode. Karma says you forgot to use airplane mode, and you're right. I did not put my phone in airplane mode, so maybe that would change up the results a little bit. So thank you for writing in. Now, also from that same video, the Necrometer. This is from Shat My Pants UWU. They say the creator deleted 1-star reviews from the App Store on the Apple Store. So if that is the case, again, I don't have Apple, I don't use iPhones, I use Android and Windows. If that is the case, then come on, guys, that should say something about the app. Again, from Huff has crossed the line. This is from the Freightlinerman. This video caused me to subscribe. Well said comments. The Freightlinerman, thank you so much for writing in. I appreciate it. Right below that, there's another one. This is from Jose F. Buman, 3875. This video is full of hate speech, full of thoughts driven by emotions of revenge, to my understanding. Huff does what he does. You do what you do. Let each other do what you must do. You shouldn't have communicated on Huff's work in such a way as you have done. I find it truly disgusting. The sub's catastrophe was a real one. Man-made, no doubt. Tragic, it has cost 5 lives, lives which were sacrificed for a dream, which was pursued with incompetence and arrogance. It was a catastrophe with an unannouncement in advance. No serious men, even with little or no basic understanding of deep-sea physics, would have embarked on this piece of garbage. Nothing at all on this junk of metal and fiberglass was convincing in respect of high tech. As such, for me, this adventure was a trip into a collective suicide. Sad to say so. So, if these victims wanted to cry out in Huff's sessions, what's wrong with that? These guys had no time to realize that they were dying, so these disembodied souls may still be searching for their instantly lost bodies. Okay, so Jose, again, and I've mentioned this many times before, if somebody wanted to come out with a video, I don't have a problem with that. The problem that I had was that it was just announced. I think there's a grieving period. I think there's a time that respects should be given to the families. I feel that this was a grab for views. And yes, this was a heavy-handed video, I will admit that. And it was the first time really that I'd come out with a video like this because of how passionate I was about having paid respects to the families. Now, of course, there were people that came out with videos about a week or so later on, but to have a video come out so quickly, something that was so drastic, so dramatic, so violent, I feel was wrong. And I will still stand by my convictions on that. So thank you for writing in. Again, I appreciate the words that you wrote. I'm sorry if you found the video disturbing. It was my feelings at the time. I still think some time should have been given before a video was created. And that's really all I can say about that. So there's more on here. I do want to so again, the necrometer speech. There is a Crowflies 888 writes in, is there a scientifically proven paranormal app? No, there is not. Some of them are just honing in on the idea that is paranormal. I think there are some out there that are honestly trying to create apps that could work. But as far as scientifically proven, no, there's not. That's why I do go to extreme senses, because there's tones. Depending on what apps you get, there are tones that are used that that I believe could possibly aid in communication. If there are apps that have a text mode and it allows you to edit the text that's in there, don't get it. And if you see people using that app and saying that it's scientifically proven, it's not. Because if you can edit the words that are in there, then it's flawed by its very design. The necrometer, when it first came out, you could edit the speeches, the speech mode. So yeah. So I wanna thank you all for writing in. If I didn't get to your comment, please feel free to let me know. And if you want me to do another one of these, yeah, put it down in the comment section below. There's a lot that we could do. I'm trying to make some time now to where I can start posting back to the channel. It's not going to be every week the way it was, just because I do have so much going on. But trying to get back into it. All right, guys. Again, put your comments down into the comment. Excuse me. Oh, man. I drank a ton of water today, and it's like burbling up on me. I'm sorry, guys. That is just gross. So anyways, as I was saying, if you have any ideas or comments, put it down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.